Hey folks, Phil Gallagher here for your daily dose of death and taxes. We're playing against Eddie. So Eddie is very likely playing humans, although not 100%. We have a Vial and a Swords to Plowshares, which are going to be great in this matchup. The Thalia is going to be kind of like whatever, to maybe bad. But you almost never throw back your Aether Vial hands. Alright, now I get the age-old question of, do I want to junk the Noble Hierarch? I can potentially get a better creature if I wait. My opponent did take a mulligan, though. This is like the always bolt the bird scenario. I think I'm going to let him have it and play my Aether Vial. It's possible that like a Kitesail Freebooter will go and take my Swords to Plowshares, which I've pretty clearly telegraphed by pausing for that long. But leaving myself with the option to go and like remove something like a Bob if he kept his hand, if he kept a hand that was dependent on it, is very strong. I've essentially played my mana acceleration card into his mana acceleration card. Rainbow lands. Let's always yield to that. So my opponent is likely to play out any creatures that they have pre-combat because it'll grow Thalia's Lieutenant, and I'm pretty likely to go and get rid of the Champion of the Parish here. I don't want to get Wastelanded because it's going to set me back from playing the Mirroring Crusader and helping to stabilize my board. So even though it has some downsides of like I might not be able to bounce a legendary creature that they would play out, I think I'm fine with this. And if there was any doubt before that I had Swords to Plowshares, like, oh boy, this makes it real clear. This will probably be a Recruiter of the Guard. It's a Mantis Rider. Okay. Alright, so am I just taking out this Champion of the Parish, or am I taking out that Mantis Rider? I think long term, I want to trade my Flicker Wisp for the Mantis Rider. Alternatively, I can use Flicker Wisp to reset counters on Champion. I think I'm going to go ahead and just like preserve my life total in the short term. It's kind of weird. Wasn't really expecting Mantis Rider when I sat down to record this league. Alright, so now I can Crusader and hold the ground versus those two threats. But I think it's just going to be better to Flicker Wisp and knock some counters off of the Noble Hierarch. And I am just going to put this in now. My opponent isn't going to have too many non-creature spells, but they are going to have a non-zero amount of them. I'm expecting to see an immediate Horizon Canopy cycle. Ooh, no. Recruiter of the Guard? Or that's what I meant, Imperial Recruiter. It's Imperial Recruiter, so it can go and fetch the Mantis Rider, by the way. We'll see what awful and horrible thing my opponent has for me. An Orzhov Pontiff would be disgusting. Maybe my opponent does not have that. Because it seems like that would be real easy in this situation. In post-sideboard games, I'm expecting to see Orzhov Pontiff, or is it Staticaster, if not both. But we might be in luck for game one. Alright, so in retrospect, I think I made a mistake. I think I was supposed to Swords to Plowshares the Mantis Rider because of Noble Hierarch. Because Noble Hierarch means the Mantis Rider can, if attacking alone, is attacking as a 4/4. So I think I should have Swords to Plowshares the Mantis Rider and then just reset the counters that were on the Champion of the Parish. Oh, God. So Phantasmal Image makes Athalia's lieutenant, pumping the team. Yeah. Oh, no, Flicker Wisp. I mean, I respect that, too. So now the recruiter can get whatever they desire out of it. And I think I'm just getting aggroed out next turn by all these bodies. Okay, so now they're getting the Pontiff and going for a lethal sort of like Alpha Strike sort of thing. We are going to pump that up. Yeah, if we had left it at 2, we still couldn't like Stoneforge Jete equip. Yeah, we're going to Pontiff, lose both these. We could keep Crusader and this. I think we're effectively dead here. Well played, well played. Alright, so what do we have for humans? Not a lot. So we have 5 cards that we want to cut. We want to cut our Sanctum Prelates and we want to cut our Thalias. The rest of our cards are fine. Pithing Needle's fine against Aether Vial, and also is it Staticaster? Relic Warder's okay against their vials. I'll play a Pithing Needle. I also don't really love Jailer here. I feel like they can often go wider than us and take the crown back. But I don't think we have a lot of good choices for boarding here. We're keeping a very removal-heavy hand, which means that unlike last time, yes, sure. Sorry, I got a message from Magic Online support. About importing card errors. So our hand became a little awkward since they led with Ether Vial. So now I'm choked on mana while they're pulling ahead on mana. And that situation is going to stay the same. Long-term things will probably be okay. But in the short term, I basically need to fire off a Swords to Plowshares or Path to Exile at every single creature that they put out. Not that it's good in the matchup, but if my opponent were to Vial and Athalia, like, boy, is that devastating right now. Yeah, I think I'm going to let Tomek live. It's just annoying if they play Karakas. But I potentially have scarier targets. What do you have for me, Eddie? Imperial Recruiter. The best case scenario is that he just like gets a phantasmal image and I get to go and fizzle it by Swords to Plowsharing the Imperial Recruiter in response. Thalia's Lieutenant. Okay, so now I'll probably just nug the Tomek here in respect of my life total. And then my opponent can make the Recruiter bigger. Alright. We'll probably end up casting a Path to Exile on the Thalia's Lieutenant. But we'll find out for sure soon. Please don't Jailer me. Please don't Jailer me. It looks like Jailer. Okay, not technically Jailer. Still terrifying. We're taking that hit. And we're going to get rid of the P and K. It's not the scariest thing on the board right now. That's this. Alright, no basic lands for my opponent. No basic lands for me either. It's not the scariest thing on the board, but if my opponent actually gets a colored mana source, it's huge. And I just can't beat it. Oh god, is there another? Alright, now it's... Alright. Alright, we're done. We're done. Just murder. Well done, Eddie. You squashed me. See you guys tomorrow.